you for all the blessings you bestowed on our lives. You watched over and protected us all day to this very moment in time. We thank you for this commission. We thank you for the government of St. Tammany Parish that we serve. We thank you for all our employees. We thank you for the citizens that's in this audience and those that depend on our decisions. Help us to make the decisions that's in the best interest of all. In all these blessings we ask in your holy name. Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In our packets are the minutes from the September 6th zoning meeting. If you would please review them, and I'll entertain any motions. Motion by Commissioner Richard to approve. Second by Commissioner Lauren. Any questions? Please vote. Motion carries. Staff, are there any cases you would like postponed?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Number 2 on the agenda, 2016-368. The owner contacted me and requested to postpone until next month, considering that he couldn't attend a meeting this evening.
Are there any others?
Yes.
We'll do them all in succession.
Number 4, 2016-380, requesting to postpone from staff who would like to do some more work in on a text change and bring it up at the next meeting for discussion.
Okay.
2016-380, number 4. Just want to remind everyone that number 6, 2016-385, has been withdrawn. And on page 3, number 11, ZC06-02-011 has been withdrawn as well.
Those are all the changes. All right, we'll start with the postponed case. 2016-368-ZC, existing zoning, A6 multiple family district, proposed zoning, A5 two-family district. The parcel 12,000 square feet. The petitioner, Scotty and Veronica Imard. The owner, Scotty and Veronica Imard. The parcel is located on the north side of Lakeview Drive, east of U.S. Highway 11, west of Harborview Court, being Lot 80, Unit 2, Eden Isle Subdivision, 292 Lakeview Drive, Slidell, Ward 9, District 13. Staff has requested via the petitioner to postpone. Anyone in the public wish to make any comment? Seeing none, close it to the public, bring it to the commission. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
I was going to make a motion to postpone.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Fitzmaurice to postpone, second by Commissioner Randolph. Commissioner Lauren.
Now, I have a question for the staff. Under the staff comments, it says they thought that A4A would be more appropriate.
Correct.
Could the developer do what they want to do with it, A4A?
Yes, it would be more appropriate. The A4A is for single-family residential, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to build a house.
Thank you.
And just a clarification, Commissioner Fitzmaurice, to postpone for 1 month? Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Fitzmaurice to postpone for 1 month, second by Commissioner Randolph. Please vote. Motion carries. 2016-380-ZC, existing zoning, text change, mobile food truck. Proposed zoning, ordinance to amend the St. Tammany Parish Unified Development Code, Volume 1, zoning, various to add mobile food trucks as administrative permit. Staff has requested a postponement. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to comment? Seeing none, I close it to the public and I bring it to the commission. Commissioner Davis.
Motion to postpone.
Motion by Commissioner Davis to postpone for 1 month.
Second.
Yes.
Second by Commissioner Randolph. Any further comments? Seeing none, please vote. Motion to postpone carries. 2016-385-ZC withdrawal. Existing zoning A4 single-family residential, proposed zoning A4 single-family residential and manufactured housing overlay. The parcel 10,042.5 square feet. Petitioner Louise Matthews. The owner Wade and Louise Matthews. The parcel is located on the east side of Sunset Road, north of U.S. Highway 190, being Lot 18 and the north half of Lot 17, Square 2, Shady Acres Subdivision, Ward 9, District 9. Again, staff has requested a withdrawal. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to comment? Seeing none, I close it to the public and I bring it to the commission. Motion by Commissioner Lauren to withdraw, second by Commissioner Willie. Any further comment? Please vote.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure we vote on withdrawals.
We don't, though it's in the public record. We don't have to amend the record to show.
No, it was requested by the petitioner to withdraw the
Okay.
case, so.
Thank you,
Stand corrected.
Commissioner Richard. Strike that last. And the same will be true for ZC 06-02-011. Just read it into the record. Major amendment to a planned unit development overlay, parcel 285.96 acres. The petitioner, Kyle Associates LLC. The owner, 285 LLC. The parcel is located on the east and west side of Louisiana Highway 1077, north of U.S. Highway 190, Ward 1, District 3. It has been withdrawn. We have had a request which we are granting to move item number 5 on your agenda, 2016-381-ZC, existing zoning, text change, behavioral health care facility, proposed zoning, and ordinance amending the test of the Unified Development Code, Volume 1, zoning, to add a new use, quote, behavioral health care facility, to Section 2 definitions and as a permitted use in Section 5.29 MD3 Medical Facilities District. Staff?
Mr. Chairman, as you may be aware, the MD3 Medical District now permits medical labs, hospitals, and vet clinics. Upon acquisition by Old Southeastern Hospital by the Parish and the subsequent master planning for that facility, we felt it's necessary, as we've moved towards Safe Haven, a comprehensive behavioral health facility, that we actually include that type of facility defined in the ordinance. Clearly, some of the things that are done out there, most of the things that are done out there clearly fall under the term hospital. But as part of the master plan, we're going to be expanding the services significantly, trying to avert and prevent some of the issues that result in the hospital stay. If you look at the second half of the definition, specifically, we're going to, in addition to the normal things that would be handled under a mental health hospital, we're also looking for counseling and treatment for stress-creating circumstances, including but not limited to chronic unemployment, loss or illness of family members, or homelessness. Those things that put the stress on our citizens and often result in mental health issues. So what we'd like to do is establish some programs that can prevent those items from happening, or those situations from happening. That opens up those services to be provided by social workers, counselors, psychiatrists, psychologists, neurologists, and physicians. And so we ask that you add this so that we have clear indication of that Southeast Hospital facility that the parish require. We can continue to implement the master plan to help the mental health facilities and services in St. Tammany Parish.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to comment on the proposed change? Seeing none, excuse me, seeing none, I close it to the public and I bring it to the commission. Commissioner Davis.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Davis to approve. Second. Second by Commissioner Richardson. Excuse me. We have a motion by Commissioner Davis to approve, a second by Commissioner Richardson. Seeing no further comment, please vote. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll now go back to the beginning of our agenda. 2016-329-ZC, existing zoning, A3 Suburban District, proposed zoning, A3 Suburban District and manufactured housing overlay, the parcel 22,500 square feet. The petitioner, Robbie Macer. The owner, Barbara A. Garcia. The parcel is located on the south side of Cypress Drive, west of Peachtree Drive, being Lot 20A, Square 23, River Garden Subdivision, Ward 8, District 9. This was postponed from the September 6, 2016 meeting. Staff?
The 2025 Future Land Use Plan calls for the area to be developed with residential uses, including manufactured housing. Staff has no objection to the request. Staff recommends that the request for MHO manufactured housing overlay designation be approved.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here? If you please come to the podium, sir, and state your name and address.
My name is Robt, R-O-B-T Macer. Address is 59275 Shady Lane, number 139, Slidell, Louisiana, 70460.
Thank you, sir. And the reason for your request and changing?
So that we can make a home for our family. The land belongs to Barbara Garcia. She is the mother of my son. And we simply just want to make a home.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to speak in favor of the request? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to the request? Seeing none, I close to the public and I bring it to the commission. Commissioner Randolph.
I move to make a motion to approve. Make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Randolph to approve. Second by Commissioner Fitzmaurice. Any further comments? We have a motion by Commissioner Randolph to approve, second by Commissioner Fitzmaurice. Please vote. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank all here.
2016-370-ZC, existing zoning, A3 Suburban District, proposed zoning, A3 Suburban District and manufactured housing overlay. The parcel, 670.78 acres. Petitioner, council motion. The parcel is located on the south side of Highway 435, east and west of Hillcrest Boulevard, Ward 6, ends 10, Council District 6. Council District 6. Staff.
Yes, this is a request that is coming from council to place a mobile home manufactured housing overlay over Hillcrest Country Club Estate subdivision and a portion of Hillcrest Country Club subdivision. I think that many of you are aware that since the comprehensive rezoning, we have several requests for zoning change to MHO in that area. And for that reason, we're coming forward to rezone the area to allow manufactured housing, and staff would like to recommend approval.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak in favor of the request? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I close it to the public and I bring it to the commission. Commissioner Lauren. I believe this.
Before I even press the button, I want to thank the staff for making arrangements to get this done. We were doing this piecemeal, and now we won't have to do this one lot at a time as we've been doing. So thank you very much. I make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Lauren to approve. Second by Commissioner Richardson. Any further comment? Please vote. Motion carries. Let's see. 2016-386-ZC. Existing zoning, A3 Suburban District. Proposed zoning, I3 Heavy Industrial District. The parcel, 2.928 acres. The petitioner, Michael Breeding. The owner, Lenora M. Galatis. The parcel is located in the end of Sloat Road along Bayou Bonfuca, Ward 9, District 12. Staff?
The 2025 future land use plan calls for the area to be developed for industrial uses. Staff has no objection to the requested zoning change to I3 heavy industrial, considering that the current zoning is incompatible with the surrounding land uses and the objectives of the future land use plan. Staff recommends that the request for I3 heavy industrial district be approved.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here? Please come to the podium, sir. State your name and address.
Michael Breeding, 3705 Pontchartrain Drive, Slidell, Louisiana, 70458.
Thank you, sir. And the reason for your request?
The owners want to market the property, and when we discovered that this one piece of the 10-acre parcel was actually A3, so we said, well, let's get this done first. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I close it to the public and I bring it to the commission. Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, this piece of property is landlocked between I-2 and I-3. I'll make a motion to approve as long as you don't mess up the fishing.
A motion by Commissioner Davis to approve. Second by Commissioner Willie. Commissioner Lauren.
Yes, Mr. Breeding, I'm just looking at the drawing, and I want to make sure I understand. What's the access going to be to this property?
Sloat Road, if you look at the,
I see where Sloat Road goes, but
Right.
it looks like it just goes down there and dead ends, but is the same ownership with,
same ownership. If you see the little parcel, you see the canal?
yeah, the A3, the one that's marked A3?
You see where it says 6.85 acres? Let me get my big map.
I don't have one. All right, you got a different drawing. Okay, so slope drawing. So, the question is it, do they own this property and this property? Do they have, how are they gonna get access to
They-
across there?
They also own the 6.88 acres.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's, I just wanted to make sure
Yes.
there was access. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions of the commission? If not, we have a motion by Commissioner Davis to approve, second by Commissioner Willie. Please vote. Motion carries. 2016-387-ZC, existing zoning, A1 Suburban District. Proposed zoning, A1 Suburban District in manufactured housing overlay. The parcel, 1.86 acres. The petitioner, Manuel and Kathy Hoffman. The owner, Manuel and Kathy Hoffman. The parcel is located on the east side of Dreamland Court, north of Brule Road, Ward 2, District 3. Staff?
The 2025 future land use plan calls for the area to be developed with residential uses, including manufactured housing. Staff has no objection to the request. Staff recommends that the request for MHO manufactured housing overlay be approved.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here? Please come to the podium, state your name and address.
My name is Manuel Hoffman. It's 80216 Dreamland Court.
And your reason for the request, sir?
I previously had a trailer there 20 years ago when I bought the property. It burned down a few years ago, and my daughter's moving back home, and I wanted to put that there for her. It was separated from my property. It's in the front, and we had the dead-end road, so.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I close it to the public and I bring it to the commission. Commissioner Willie.
Yeah, the request is appropriate. I move for approval.
Thank you.
Motion by Commissioner Willie to approve. Second by Commissioner Richard. Any further comments? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries.
May I ask, how do I proceed from this point forward now? You call me? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
2016-388-ZC, existing zoning, HC2 Highway Commercial District, proposed zoning, HC3 Highway Commercial District. The parcel, 1.43 acres. The petitioner, Marcia and Raymond Williams. The owner, Marcia and Raymond Williams. The parcel is located on the south side of East Gauze Boulevard, east of Amber Street, being lots 11 and 12, Square 26, Pearl Acres Subdivision, Ward 8, District 13. Staff.
Petitioner is requesting to change the zoning from HC2 to HC3. The 2025 future land use plan calls for the area to be developed with commercial uses. The property, there's currently a building on the property which was, up to a few years ago being housed by a bar establishment. And the petitioner is coming here to request to change the zoning to HC2 to make the use conform to the appropriate zoning. And at this time, staff has no objection to the request.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here? Please come to the podium. Mrs. Williams, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Marcia Williams. I live at 64491 Highway 434, Lacombe, Louisiana, 70445. And we had that little building there for over 30 years, and it was always a bar. And our last tenant we had was in there about 25 years, and she retired. And so we got a new tenant. And when we did, it turned out that with a whole lot of stuff went on about the well, and the state made us do all kind of things. It took a long time, so I'd like my son to talk about it, my son, R.B. Williams.
Thank you.
That's only if y'all have any questions. All y'all have gotten the letter I believe my mom wrote. I don't know if y'all had time to read it or not, with the massive amount of time and effort it took to make all this happen. The parish had absolutely no problem with this back in January of 15. Unfortunately, we have to apply by the state laws and the health certificates you have to get for that. We had a water well there for God knows how long, 35 years, and it was never registered because you didn't have to register them back then. So this bar owner basically just transferred ownership, is all we tried to do. But you got to get the health certificate, and you can't put the cart before the horse. So parish was all fine with it. The only problem is we couldn't get it done in 6 months. Or I should say we could have. The state, in its infinite wisdom and lack of people there to staff their place, took over a year to get it done. If I'd have known this way back when, we thought we only had to put a chlorine injection system on the one place, and that would have been it. If you read through the documents that my mom wrote, she has it all explained about the time and length that it took. If I'd have known that back then to begin with, and the state would have told me, we would have shot across to probably Crossgates Water and been done with all this in a month. But they didn't give me privy to that information. So therefore, that was the only delay. We would have had this place open in 2 weeks if we could have with the state. And the state comes before the parish in this particular case because they control the health certificate that you got to have before you can get your liquor license. So that was the only delay in all of this.
Thank you.
So if anybody has any questions, or if not, we'll go sit down.
Well, you can sit down for now, and
Okay.
then when we bring it to the commission, if they have questions, we'll ask you to come back up. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to speak in favor of the request? Is there anyone who wishes to? Pardon me?
I'm in favor of the request.
If you would come to the podium and state your name and address. Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Bonnie Clement. I live at 169 Woodbridge Drive, Slidell, Louisiana. And I am in favor of this request, only because it's been there for such a long time and there's been no problems whatsoever. So I don't know why it took them so long. I guess there's just a lot of red tape. But I just wanted to say I'm in favor of it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor? Anyone in opposition? This time I close it to the public and I bring it to the commission. Commissioner Davis.
I have a question for Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir.
Does the 1.43 acre cover the tattoo parlor as well?
Yes, it's both,
It
actually.
does?
The problem, it's the trailer, the bar trailer overlaps a little bit, so we didn't want to cut it off. We kind of had to put that with it to include everything, so we weren't slicing a little piece off of some sort. But the real total of the whole deal may only be a half acre at best, because the rest of the property is useless because of the canal that goes in between the two.
Yeah, I know the area actually very well.
Okay?
Yeah,
Mom.
no, ma'am, that's right. The only situation I'm having here is that you're asking for an increase in density that skips Highway Commercial 2A and goes right to Highway Commercial 3. I see the staff made a recommendation to approve. Can I ask Helen a question? Helen, if this piece of property, the entire piece of property was vacant with nothing on it, would you make a recommendation still for Highway Commercial 3?
It may be possible. There's a lot of uses in the area, but
But there is no Highway Commercial 3 on Gauze in this area.
not at this time.
That's where I'm having a problem with. You know, I understand you could fix your problem, but you're also asking this commission to go ahead and grant an increased density in which you could just basically destroy the buildings and sell it as a Highway Commercial 3 now. And these are the things that we've been thinking about over the years, about how not to do and how to do. And anyway, that's my piece on it.
Staff, I have a question relative to the buildings. These are trailers. Is there any overlays that are being required for them?
No, it's an existing building that is being used as commercial.
Okay, so that is not applicable. Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Another question for staff on that. Since it's existing building, the building is grandfathered in, but not the zoning? Is that what you're saying?
And the building is grandfathered in, the use was no longer grandfathered in.
And am I correct, Mr. Williams, that the cause of this has to do with the state, a delay in the state?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The state took forever. We have all the documentation which has been passed along to them of how long it took for them to do it. I have things from Kevin Pearson begging or telling their supervisors to come down to this supervisor, say, how come this thing is taking so long? I think we have some very good cases for things. With the state, I have a big problem with the state. This all would have been done very easily. For Mr. Davis, I got to tell you that way back when my parents bought this property in '71, that canal, we asked this police jury back then to let us cut it toward the back end at our expense of $60,000 back 30 years ago, which is a hell of a lot of money. Somebody who had no civil engineering degree decided that he didn't think it would work. Of course, we had a civil engineer that said it would work. The parish had a civil engineer that said it would work. And he went ahead and did it anyway. I used to be able to jump across that canal when I was in second grade. We lived there. So therefore, the only thing that was really able to put there on some of these properties were some smaller type trailers. Now that my parents are almost 80 years old, they're certainly not going to tear down everything and build $1 million strip mall. And then we have to come back to you and ask you, can we culvert and can we cut to the back now to put something like that in at their age? It's a very small piece of property that certainly that zoning could do nothing with in that particular spot. We plan on keeping it there for a long time. There's never been any trouble there, and we wouldn't even be sitting here asking for this if the state would have did what they were supposed to do to begin with. I mean, we've lost a lot of money on this whole thing, and it's just a little community place that people go to, and they've actually fixed it up better than it was before, and it doesn't cause any trouble, so I certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Hand?
I'd like to make a comment about this case. What he's saying is accurate. You know, they did come to the parish, and were advised this is the procedure you need to follow, and they did get hung up by the state. And I know for a fact that one of the gentlemen that they were dealing with at the state, he dealt with it a long time, and then he retired.
Yes, and the
And
man
left
above him was
yeah.
fired up at the top of
Yes.
the state level. And this all came about with the water, and, you know, the kid in St. Bernard died from sniffing something of his nose, and now it's gotten, you know, now I'm a water company. I'm as good as any big water company, as good as the parish is, was what they made us do now. So, but we complied. So, and we're probably still going to shoot across to go get the water from across the way, because it makes no sense for us to pay that kind of money, which is like $600 a month now. So I have to get with y'all later on that sometime to be able to shoot across, which we'll pay for that too, to be able to tap. I heard y'all bought Crossgates Water Company of some sort, which would probably be the place we would tap into. I think it's close enough to where we could. But we didn't have to at the time. We thought we only had to put a chlorine injection system in.
Commissioner Richard?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Like Commissioner Davis, I really struggle with this HC3. But in light of everything that's happened, and we don't live in a vacuum, I'm gonna move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Richard to approve, second by Commissioner Randolph. Are there any further comments of the commission? We have a motion by Commissioner Richard to approve, second by Commissioner Randolph. Please vote. Motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
2016-389-ZC, existing zoning, NC4 Neighborhood Institutional District and A4 Single Family Residential District. The proposed zoning, NC4 Neighborhood Institutional District, A4 Single Family Residential District, and a planned unit development overlay. The parcel, 28.06 acres. The petitioner, Kyle Associates, Franklin Kyle. The owner, James E. Shields Sr. The parcel is located on the south side of Louisiana Highway 1088, east of Trinity Drive, west of Forest Brook Boulevard, Ward 4, District 7. Staff?
Sorry for the delay. Petitioner is requesting a zoning change from A4 and NC4 to plan unit development. The site is proposed to be developed with 43 single-family residential lots, a duplex, a fourplex, and a sportsplex in an outdoor recreation area. Basically, what we're distributing here is a revised plan. There's been a few adjustments and modification, nothing drastic. It remains the same plan. As you may have noted, the sports complex is already existing, as well as the duplex and the fourplex, which the owner wishes to incorporate into the PUD, and also add 43 single-family residential lots. The site will provide access from 1088 and also internal access to the sports complex, and the residents of the subdivision will have access to the sports complex through driveway by car, also through pedestrian access. And at this time, staff would like to recommend approval of the requested zoning change for the plan unit development.
Thank you. You're the petitioner, sir?
Yes, sir. Franklin Kyle, Kyle Associates, 638 Village Lane North, Mandeville, 70471. I'm here to answer any questions you have. We worked closely with staff over the past couple of months and got this thing fine-tuned where I think it's a really nice development. We're a lot of green space, a lot of open space, and staying out of all the wetlands, which is what everybody generally is concerned with. So we appreciate you continuing with staff's recommendation and request approval.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to speak in favor of the petition? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you. Caller Hernandez. I live in the Forest Brook subdivision, which is one of the subdivisions that this site is in between. Quail Creek on one side, Forest Brook is on the other side. Back a number of years ago, before the comprehensive rezoning, a PUD was approved for this area, never instituted. So it didn't happen. You know, one of the curious things, and I'm wondering if you're looking at the numbers, because the original number that was associated with this when it first went out was 28.06 acres. And that's how it was advertised. And now, of course, it's 27.99 acres. If you look at the numbers that the staff used on where it got the maximum number of proposed units in the thing, I guess I'm having trouble understanding it because, number one, if you look at the commercial part of the facility, now, of course, they can use that as part of the overall density, but they're not going to do anything with tearing down that building that's sitting there, the pool in the back, the parking that's associated with it. And then they talk about the existing homes that are there, one a duplex and one a fourplex, they say, which is curious because this is a single-family residential unit, or so it would seem. So I guess one of the things that they're using, of course, the PUD for is to incorporate now this fourplex and duplex as part of that. On the Forest Brook side, the estates is one of the bordering areas here. The estates is, and now they're all built up. All the estates lots are all sold and developed, and they are in fact two-story residences there, 100-foot lots and a minimum square footage that they have. They run at a minimum of $400,000 for the homes there. And of course, they were looking at green space, but now we'll be looking at presumably 50-foot lots that will be associated with that. Back in at the original the original PUD, one of the requests that was made, and I thought had been agreed to, but of course it was never instituted, was that there be a 50-foot buffer between the residential lots around Quail Creek and Forest Brook and the development. Of course, there's no such proposal here for that. What they've done, of course, is where the area that was more difficult to construct, they've simply left it vacant. Unfortunately, that's only a small part in the back, which does affect part of Forest Brook in the back, which I'm assuming will be left alone. But one doesn't know that because, well, one doesn't know that. So I guess the concerns that we're having is that, number one, what is the maximum number of homes that are going to be permitted, or these 49 lots plus the one duplex, plus one fourplex? Is that the maximum number that we're looking at? If you look at where the drainage flow is, it drains right through where homes are right now in Forest Brook, which is curious. Now, it might be schematic, and it may not show where the actual drainage is going to take place, but the drainage flow that they're showing is going to go through our residential area, which seems of concern to us, obviously. So I don't know if of course at this point they don't necessarily have to look at that, but of course they showed that in one of their drawings, and obviously that's of concern to us. And it's of concern, obviously, that there's now going to be a recognized fourplex in a duplex there, surrounded by single-family homes that we all live in. I just wanted to make those comments. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in opposition? Please approach the podium.
Bill McHugh, St. Tammany Farmer. Just to clarify, on one page it's talking about 43 single-family lots, and then on another page it says the proposal is for 49 lots, so I'm wondering which is which. I'm looking at the first page of the staff report. It says 43 single-family residential lots, a duplex, a fourplex, and a sports complex. And then over on the second page, it says the proposal is for 49 lots, 1 duplex and 1 fourplex. So I'm just, which is it? 43 is correct. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other in opposition or clarification? If not, Mr. Kyle, 5 minutes to rebut.
Sure. The main thing, I understand the gentleman's understanding, a question about the balance and so forth. What we have tried to do is avoid all wetlands, which we have, and the vast, at least 40% of this entire site is being untouched. And the other thing is the existing, the ditch, the drainage way that wiggles its way through the houses and out to the, back to the south, that's an existing drainage way. Certainly, we're requesting zoning here, but it's something that our engineers will have to deal with in a preliminary stage as far as to protect them from drainage. But that's not a design situation. That's in a ditch that's out there right now. And I assure you that we will all meet when we get to that point the required parish requirements for reduction in stormwater runoff.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Anyone else wish to make any comments in rebuttal? If not, Mr. Hernandez, care to rebut? This time we'll close it to the public and bring it to the commission. Commissioner Davis.
Yes. Mr. Kyle?
Yes, sir.
Now, everybody knows this is just an overlay, so this is not going to be the tentative or preliminary. We still have to go through all that.
Yes, sir.
The words that Mr. Carlos talked about buffer space and stuff like that, I see, looking at this initial drawing, you do have some passive open space.
Correct.
Is that correct? I don't know how you're going to design all that, but just take his, feelings in consideration.
Oh, no, absolutely.
When you do that. One thing about this is it truly defines a PUD because you have the commercialization part in it. You have an existing building with different residential units in it, and then you have the single-family lots. I actually like this design, and again, I don't know what it was in the past. I like the way it enters off of 1088 and comes in. I like the way it has only 43 lots. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Davis to approve. Commissioner Drum.
I just have a question.
Yes, sir.
This whole area had a building moratorium put on it a while ago, and there's a church that was just built across the street, and it had to get special permission to lift that moratorium. Has that been lifted yet?
I defer to Ms. Lambert.
No, it has not been lifted yet. However, they haven't pulled or attempted to pull a building permit, and before they can pull a building permit, they have several other steps to go through. So, we'll obviously make sure that the owner communicate with the councilman of the area to discuss, or, they'll have to delay until the moratorium is lifted.
Thank you.
Commissioner Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I noted, again, I agree with Jimmy over there, that this is a PUD. It has all the parts and components to a PUD. We've got active and passive recreation, et cetera, so all that checks the boxes. Are the homeowners going to have access to the commercial operations? The sports
Absolutely.
I mean,
In fact-
is it something they get to go use, or they have to
No,
join?
in fact,
or-
it's, and I have with owner's representative here, if you'd like to ask him directly, but he, the plan is to, everybody that owns either part of the multifamily, the duplex or the fourplex, or resident lot will have membership as part of the lot ownership into the
Good
recreational
answer.
facility.
Good answer. I second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Richard. Any further comments? If not, we have a motion by Commissioner Davis to approve, second by Commissioner Richard. Please vote. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Plan review cases, applications requiring review and approval of site plans along a planned corridor district by the Zoning Commission are as follows. PR 16-10-002, retail building and restaurant. The Corridor, Planned Corridor Overlay, zoning HC2 Highway Commercial District. The use, 9,000 square feet. The petitioner, John S. Bowers III. Owner, JSB Highway 21 Lots LLC. Representative, GNS Engineering LLC. The parcel is located on the east side of Louisiana Highway 21, south of Azalea Drive, Ward 1, District 1. Staff?
Petitioner is proposing a retail building and a restaurant on a parcel located on the east side of LA 21, south of Azalea Drive. A site and landscape plan has been provided as required. However, additional information shall be provided as listed below. The staff recommends postponing of this proposal due to a variety of factors that may alter the plan. A tree survey was not submitted. We believe that they need to revise the detention plan. There's some issues with traffic flow, the ingress and egress of the site. We would like to see that they submit a master plan of the entire parcel and also what specific uses are for each building, because they said retail and restaurant, but didn't identify the buildings.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here?
Hello, Scott Grode, 545 Boshin Drive, GNS Engineering, and I represent the developer.
Staff is recommending a postponing due to insufficient information or incomplete information. Would you care to comment on that?
The biggest issue I saw, most of the comments are fairly common. The biggest issue I saw was the lack of a tree survey. This particular parcel doesn't have significant trees. It's got a lot of scrub, kind of everything. So that was the one reason why we didn't do a tree survey and provided a landscape plan to just take care of the whole thing. Obviously, it's very expensive to put all new trees, but that's what's required in this particular case. The biggest issue in the comments I saw was the parking comment that we'll have to address with staff. I really have no problem working with staff from this point forward if the council chooses to approve it. However, I am kind of at your mercy.
But just to clarify, the staff had asked for a tree survey, and you or your owner did not think it was warranted.
There's not a significant tree on the site.
Okay.
On this,
staff did request it, and you denied it. Is that correct?
Well, they're asking for it now.
Okay.
I mean, in the process of presenting information to them, we just saw that it wasn't necessary.
Okay.
So,
is there anyone else in the public who wishes to speak in favor? Anyone who wishes to oppose? I'll close it to the public, and I'll bring it to the commission. Commissioner Lauren.
Yes, in view of the fact that the staff is recommending to postpone it, and in light of the fact, too, also that there's 15 items on here, the petitioner says that there's not very many trees, but the staff says there are. I make a motion to postpone for 1 month.
Motion by Commissioner Lauren to postpone for 1 month.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Randolph. Commissioner Davis.
I just have a question. Scott, is it?
Yes, sir.
Looking at the two buildings with the different sized buildings, which one's retail, which one's a restaurant?
Restaurant's in the front, retail's in the rear.
Okay, because I was just looking, I was hoping that because you have more parking spaces for the restaurant.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, parking this is a really strange development, and I
Right.
could go into umpteen details for hours about it, but
Yeah.
there is going to be a master plan that's part of this, and that is probably a worthwhile meeting to have with staff, so I have, once again, no objection.
I agree. Thank you.
So,
Commissioner Lauren, any further comments?
No.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Lauren to postpone for 1 month, second by Commissioner Randolph. Please vote. Motion carries. Is there any old business to come before the commission? Is there any new business?
Yes. This is a friendly reminder to all of you. The zoning meeting next month is not on Tuesday. It's on Wednesday, the 2nd. I think there was already something in the council chambers on the Tuesday, so we had to move it. The planning commission meeting as well is on Wednesday because that Tuesday is the presidential election. So both meetings next month are Wednesday instead of Tuesday. But I'll call you all just to remind you again.
Thank you. So we got ousted, is that right?
Yeah, I guess.
That's nice. Okay.
Chairman,
That's it.
one last thing. Commissioner Davis pointed out to me, Jimmy, would you fill everybody in on about?
Yeah, Commissioner Dave Doherty is having open heart surgery next week. So everybody, please keep him in your prayers.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.